like a season-defining loss today for Oklahoma. Welcome to the College Huddle, everybody. I'm Eric Boggs. The College Huddle 86 independent college football podcast from coast to coast. You found the mothership here at the College Huddle. I was really excited about this Ole Miss Oklahoma game today going into this thing because I had a feeling it was going to be a good game, which it was. There was a lot of storylines surrounding this game, and there still are. And I felt like Ole Miss had a really good opportunity to win the football game outright, and they did. But it wasn't because Oklahoma's a bad football team. It's not because Ole Miss is a really good football team. I was intrigued about the fact that Ole Miss might kind of circle the wagons after it appeared, and still may be the truth, that a lot of Ole Miss fans are kind of fed up with Lane Kiffin. And I was interested to see if they would have kind of that Kiffin swagger going into this football game, because they had a lot riding on this game. They needed to win this football game. If they lost to Oklahoma, there was a very good chance that they would be eliminated from the college football playoff. Because if Oklahoma was 10-2 to finish the season, and Ole Miss was 10-2, and it came down to choosing one of those two teams, of course, they were going to give it to Oklahoma because of the head-to-head. But now it flips and it goes to Ole Miss, and they've got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way. And as long as Lane Kiffin doesn't stub his toe somewhere like he did last year, I kind of feel like Ole Miss has got a very good shot of slipping into the college football playoff. But on the flip side of that, up in Norman, things are just intriguing to me. I think what happens with Oklahoma moving forward is going to be I'm going to have my eye on it. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. Because Brent Venables, who, made his way back to Oklahoma after, coaching there back in the day and getting his opportunity to kind of coach the big boy program on his own after all those years as the defensive coordinator in Clemson. But he coached at Oklahoma for, was it 12 seasons, 13 seasons, from 1999 to 2011, and he spent a lot of time there, almost as not quite as much time as he spent at Clemson, but finally gets his head coaching opportunity, goes back to the place where he really cut his teeth as a football coach, and things just haven't gone, I think, like they really wanted it to there, in all honesty. Whether it be, roster, whether it be development, whether it be losses in the transfer portal, misses in recruiting, uh, not very good coaching hires, or all the above. Things just haven't gone the way that the Oklahoma fans wanted it to go, and the way Brent Venables, I think, envisioned it going. And I did a very dangerous thing. I went to the old message boards, and I wanted to find out uh, what the fans were saying, and it's very mixed, more negative than positive at this point for Brent Venables. And I said dangerous because when you first go right after a game, fans are emotional. They're going to say things that maybe they don't think through or really think about in the long run. But there were some things today that were pointed out by the fans, and I went back and analyzed it a little closer, and I think they're right. So looking at today's game, and you break down statistically what Ole Miss did to a Brent Venables defense, and you look at what Oklahoma decided to do schematically, offensively, there's a reason why fans are frustrated. There absolutely is a reason why fans should be frustrated. Xavier Robinson had 9 carries today for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ole Miss could not stop him. That Oklahoma offensive line, when it came to running the football, was dominating the Ole Miss defensive line. Very reminiscent of what we saw earlier in the year when Michigan visited Norman. And you only hand the football off 9 times. 9 times. No wonder the Oklahoma fans were frustrated and are calling for heads to roll. That's just unacceptable when you can when your defense is having trouble stopping the opponent and you can manage the clock and keep that other team's offense off the field. Good things can tend to happen because you rest your defense. They come out a little bit more fresh. You're in control of the football game a little bit more. And if you break it down from team stats, Ole Miss had 35 minutes and 36 seconds of possession of the football to Oklahoma's 24-24, over 11 minutes more than the Sooners had the football. So it was Ole Miss that was keeping the chains moving, keeping the clock moving. They were 9 of 21 on third down, 2 of 3 on fourth down. So 11 of 21, so over 50% conversion rate on third and fourth down, to Oklahoma's 4 of 14, 1 of 3 on fourth to make it 5 of 14. Big disparity there when it comes to third down, fourth down. Despite the fact that Oklahoma outgained Ole Miss in yards per play at 6 yards per play to 5 yards per play, it was Ole Miss that was kind of taking the page out of Oklahoma's book that Oklahoma should have been running offensively that would have given them a massive advantage. And then when you break down John Mateer's stats, 17 of 31 passing for 223 yards and a touchdown, it's like, you probably should have handed the football off more. You get a little bit too happy with the pass, a little bit too trustworthy. And I get it. Mateer's kind of like, you bring him in. He has such a great start to the season for you. He's like a Heisman darling after the first 4 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. Injury happens. You rush him back too fast. You get the wheels blown off by Texas in your rivalry game. And then in this game falls flat on his face again. And you're left questioning. What's going to happen? Well, let's talk about what's going to happen because that's where the real interest is here. If this was a season-defining loss, and it sure felt like it to me, and it sure feels like it to, I think, the Sooner fans when you read their comments, there's not a whole lot of hope. Now, if Oklahoma, with the schedule that they have remaining, go undefeated and finish the season 10-2, they are going to the college football playoff. Guaranteed. Guaranteed they are going. Because it would be the most impressive last 4 games won out of any team in college football. Hands down. Because this schedule is brutal with a capital B. Next week, you go on the road to Tennessee. Then you get a bye week, and then you go on the road to Alabama, who, as I record this, is currently tied with South Carolina. Then you go back home for the next 2 against a current top 25 ranked Missouri and a current top 20 ranked LSU. That's how you finish the season off. Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU. You win all 4 of those games, you're going to college football playoff. But they might lose all 4 of those games. If you were to say, Boggsy, you got to bet on one of the 2 scenarios happening. Oklahoma wins the next 4 straight or loses the next 4 straight. I'm putting my money down on losing the next 4 straight. I think the odds of that happening are way higher than the Sooners winning the next 4 straight. And so we're left questioning what's going to happen to Venables. after 2 disappointing seasons, and this in season number 3 was supposed to be, your make or break year, and you start off great and you got all this hype, and then all of a sudden you fall flat on the face, your face, and you get to the point of the season where you've got to make hay and you got to win these big games, and there's zero confidence in the fan base that they're going to be able to do that. One has to ask the question, is this temperature on Brent Venables' seat getting turned up? That's why I say it is going to be fascinating to watch the end of the season for Oklahoma. Because if they fall apart and the wheels fall off old Boomer Sooner, and Brent Venables starts stacking some L's on top of L's here at the end of the season, I don't think this fan base is going to have much patience for him. And given the climate of college football this year, where we've got quite a few job openings already, one has to wonder if there might be one in Norman, Oklahoma as well. Let me know what you think about what I think down in the comments section below. We have had a really good 2 weeks here in the College Huddle with a ton of new subscribers in the last 2 weeks. We appreciate all of you who've subbed to the channel. If you're not currently subscribed, please consider doing so. We would love to have you a member here at the College Huddle. Go check out the website, thecollegehuddle.com, and check out all 86 podcasts that are members of our community, the largest independent college football podcast community in the country. Go check that out, everybody. And of course, by all means, please like the video. Let me know what you think down below. We'll be back with another one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.